Hello, I'm Mikhail Henning. Today we're going to talk about the differences between value stream mapping and process mapping, otherwise known as process flow charts, which is one of the 7 quality tools of Lean Six Sigma. Let's imagine a pool, if you would, and inside that pool there are swim lanes. Each one of those swim lanes would represent a different department in the organization. Let's say we have purchasing, planning, warehousing, manufacturing, quality control, and then shipping. Those are all the different departments, so each one would have a swim lane in our process map or our process flow chart. Each one is very important to the overall process, and if you write down each of the individual component activities, you can create your work order instructions, which is huge in removing ambiguity from your process. Now let's look at value stream mapping. Value stream mapping is important, very important to an organization to look at your value added activities and your non-value added activities. It also allows you to see where you're wasting your money at or you're holding up your cash reserves. Information flows from right to left in a value map, and processes go from left to right in a value map. So let's say that we get the order from the customer, it comes through us, we move it over to our vendors. On the truck, the materials come into our warehouse. If we use an SAP, it's a 101 transaction in the warehouse. The warehouse will hold on to the materials until it's called in for production through your planning department. We'll kit the orders. We'll go ahead and consume all of those orders onto the work order for proper allocation. That way we don't want any inventory variances as a result of this. So now the manufacturing process starts. Now let's say we have 2 different main components to the widgets that we're making. If we're going to make 10 widgets a day, it'll take a total of 10 days from start to end to complete these widgets, and the widgets are $100,000 a piece. Let's say that we have a thermal aspect to our widget. So we need to solder together different wires and wires to relays and wires to boards. So we're bringing all the smaller items together for this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use sealants, or we're going to bring our motors onto our cogs, and then our motor cog assembly onto our tracks. So we have different elements that we need to bring together. We have smaller ones and we have larger ones, and we have to bring the whole thing together as one. So let's assume, therefore, it takes 2 hours to do all of our smaller welding, soldering items that we have going on. Now, this obviously doesn't account for the time that your technicians are picking up their cell phones, they're texting back and forth, they're making trips to the bathroom, every half an hour. Remember, humans comprise of 76% of deviation in a process. So let's take all that out, and let's say they're actually at their desk consuming or soldering all these pieces, doing all their proper assembly, and it's going to take 2 hours. Now your larger components, again, we have to do sealants, so we're doing sealants. We're bringing the cog onto the motor, we're bringing that assembly onto the track, and that's going to take an hour to do. Now let's go ahead and bring all of the smaller components, the larger components together to manufacture our actual widget. Let's say that's going to take 2 hours. So we have 2 hours for your smaller thermals, 1 hour for your larger assembly, and then another 2 hours to bring it all together. And then it goes into quality control, testing, shipping, though there's other activities. And those are all very important, but they're non-value add activities. So the actual value add to this process is 5 hours. 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 5. It takes 10 days for the overall process from start to finish. So you're at 240. 5 of 240 is 2%. So 2% of the overall activity is value add. 98% is non-value add. That's extreme. But that's the ability that a value stream map allows you to see where you have these areas of non-value activity. So now you work with those together with your value stream map or your process map, your process flow chart, and you start removing all the waste from the process as you streamline things to remove the inefficiency, the non-value add activity, to raise your profit margin by removing all those non-value add activities, which is draining your profit margins, hitting your bottom line where it hurts. I hope this helped explain the difference between value stream mapping and process mapping, otherwise known as process flow charts. Again, one of the quality tools to Lean Six Sigma. Thank you.